put it to the senior member, Praveen sir. Then, sir, as SA 501 is about all evidences, how would evidence be relevant and important in a certification which is being issued by a chartered accountant? Can you please throw some light in connection with the essays on 501?
Yeah, thank you so much, Chintan bhai. I'm really grateful to Pramod ji and Vishal ji for giving another opportunity. Uh, this is something which is very, very useful for all the professional brothers and sisters. So, before we begin our session, the disclaimer, this is very important. Whatever we are going to share with all of you, both Madam Padam Shri and myself, these are our personal views. This is it is recommended and it is advised that if you have to take a professional call or if you want to really apply in these things in your uh, daily life or in your actual professional work, it is strongly recommended that you look into the literature yourself, because whatever thoughts we are sharing, these are our personal views, and you should rely on the literature, official literature, which has been issued by the institute. As far as this matter is concerned, there's a guidance note on certification, like Pramodji also mentioned. This was revised in 2016, and this guidance note on reports or certificates for special purpose. This is the exact name, and it was revised in 2016. So we will try to answer your questions based on this guidance note. Then there are standards on auditing, because the questions which were asked, they were in direction of some of the auditing standards also, like the first question also Chintan bhai has asked. So I'll before coming to the question, I would like to read from the introduction, para number 1. It said that the purpose of this guidance note is to provide guidance on engagement which requires a professional accountant in public practice to issue reports other than those which are issued in audits or reviews of historical financial information. So basically, this guidance note is a sacrosanct. It's a main document or literature for which can be relied upon or which should be referred to before you give any certificates or issue any report other than the audit reports. This is this is carrying illustrations or the formats of the certificates which can be issued. There are appendix 2 carries illustrative formats of those certificates. So many of the questions which we have received, many of the questions relate to the formats. So these formats are given in this guidance note, so you can always refer to these. So many times, the questions which you face in your practice as a chartered accountant, you are being asked to give certificate or certify certain statements. So this particular guidance note is a place where you should go. Now, coming to external evidence, there are various standards on auditing, like Chintan Bhai has mentioned, Series 500. So there is a standard 500, which deals with issues related to evidence, and then 505 talks about external confirmation, the importance of external confirmations. And once we look at standard on auditing 505, it very clearly says that the audit evidence is more reliable when it is obtained from an independent source outside the entity. This is, I'm reading from paragraph 2. Audit evidence obtained directly by the auditor is more reliable than audit evidence obtained indirectly or by inference. Third bullet point, the audit evidence is more reliable when it exists in documentary form, whether paper, electronic, or other medium. So this standard on auditing 505 very clearly says that there are various levels of reliance on the evidences. So documentary evidence is much better than the verbal evidence. Then if auditor is directly taking an evidence, that's much more reliable. And if it is being taken by the from the third party or an independent source outside the entity, that is still better. And then standard on SA 330, it requires that the auditor obtain more persuasive evidence, which is higher if there is a higher risk, in the paper which you are signing. Then another standard on auditing, 240 indicates that the auditor may require or may design the confirmation request in such a manner, which will give the information and it is addressed in a particular manner. Then SA 500, it indicates that corroborating information obtained from a source independent of entity, such as external confirmation, may increase the assurance the auditor obtains from the evidence. So why do we need an evidence? So suppose you are writing on a piece of paper, or you are giving a certificate, or you are giving a report. Why have you written? Why have you given that kind of report? What that kind of opinion? In order to prove, if somebody is asking for it, even if it is for your own comfort, the auditors need to obtain evidence. For certificates, it is specifically important that you obtain your evidence, which will support whatever your opinion is. Like the certificate mentioned, you can give reasonable assurance, or you can give limited assurance, whichever assurance you are giving, but you need to have an evidence. And as I had shared with you, SA 505, it is always better to have a documentary evidence. It is better to have a direct evidence, and better to have outside third party confirmations or the evidence. So these are basically the level of assurances which you get when you are giving any opinion, or when you are giving any certificate.